Hey everybody, Jonathan Brandt, Go Out Living. We are excited today. We have someone all the way from the Netherlands who is going to be joining us. We have Carlijn Krijger. And today we thought about talking about health and really how the environment has impacted us over the many thousands of years. And Carolyn has a personal story that I believe you'll find really interesting. And then that'll lead us into what you think are the health consequences of our environment and maybe what we can do about it. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much, and thank you for the intro. I love it, and it's so true.
Of course. So,
All
why don't
right.
you tell us a little about your story?
Yes. So when I was around the age of 19 or 20, I'm still quite young, but yeah, a couple years ago, I suddenly, like, it wasn't all of a sudden, but it happened very slowly, that I started losing my period, started having anxiety, fatigue. I just relied on caffeine. I had these weird mood swings where one day I would be like 1 hour I would be just normal, and then the next hour I would be screaming. I couldn't digest myself. I couldn't digest foods very well. I wasn't really sick. Like, I looked good and I could do everything that I wanted and I looked still jacked, but I was so not myself, and I was so, well, so different than the person and the kid that I always was. So I spend a lot of money on now. I think over $30K right now on my health and on coaching and on self-development and spirituality and all of these things that's called the wellness industry. And through that, I learned bit by bit, like tiny pieces of information. Some things didn't really work. Some things threw me completely backwards. It was a lot of trial and error. But eventually I had some epiphanies, some intuitive moments. I just acted on what I felt was right. And later I learned what that was. And so some things happened, which we can look into today. And suddenly I got my period back, and suddenly I had my libido back, and suddenly I had myself back. So it was a really cool experience, and it really opened my eyes to now the environment nowadays and how backwards everything is in terms of our bodies and our health.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah, that's
really
what.
look at it in a different way, don't we? So,
So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
right. And a lot of it you believe came from the environment itself, from uh, the nutrition side to just the chemicals in everything. Is that kind of what I'm understanding?
Yes. So what happens nowadays is, look, we've been evolving for billions of years on this planet, right? With the sun, with the earth, with the elements, with everything that's around us, and it has been evolving and evolving and evolving. And our bodies have completely adapted to a certain environment, which is called nature nowadays, right? If you look at a shark, it has fins because it has adapted to the sea. If you look at our hands, they have been adapted to climbing. We can grab things very well, right? A shark cannot do that because it hasn't been evolved in trees. And so our bodies are like perfectly attuned to nature. It's so fascinating how well our bodies know nature. Yet the environment of 95% of people, maybe even like 99, I dare to say, they're completely like isolated. Like, this is their body, and then there's this shield that we placed artificially, and then nature is somewhere out there. And you see it in people's relationships. Like, people have a hard time connecting. People have a hard time opening up and communicating. And their bodies are not communicating with nature either. There's parts of our cells that are called mitochondria. They're the powerhouses of the cell. And many people know them as powerhouses, but what many people don't know is that they actually facilitate a huge part of the communication that happens within the cell but also with the environment around the cell. So when you're giving, it picks up on light, it picks up on electrons, it picks up on your emotions, it picks up on anything that you're surrounded by. You're constantly censoring, like your body is just one big sensory organism, and it senses every single particle. Way faster, actually, like 40,000 times faster than the mind does. It's actually amazing. And it relies on light, for example. What kind of light are we getting nowadays? It's all artificial. So that's one example of huge, dysregulation. Like the body has no idea where
Yeah,
it's at.
we're just not outside anymore, are we?
No, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Really, that's what it really comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself I do a daily walk every day, and I didn't realize how much I need it, to be honest with you. I actually did a podcast on it, a quick little podcast, but it rejuvenates me every morning. It gets me ready for the day. And I
Yes.
remember not having that, and I just felt like blah. Okay, let's get through another day kind of thing. Where I get out there, I do this for an hour, and I get to see a creek run through everything to a pond to the eagles. It's just amazing, and the people you see around you, and that's exactly what we're missing. A lot of people are missing that part of it, and like you said, we're getting artificial light. We're not even getting the real sun. Um, so with saying that, and then something else I keep thinking about, especially with me and my wife with the cancer aspect, you know, even if we're getting outside with the chemicals and stuff that they're using for crops, for instance, from the fertilizers to the pesticides, we've gone away from our real environment to even fake environment in a way, or altered, I guess is a better term for it. So when we say, okay, get out, do things, we got to be careful of other things as well, as far as the chemicals and that sort of thing. Or how do we manage that, I guess, is the big question.
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge question, and that's a very important question because, at one hand, we don't want to isolate ourselves, but at the other hand, all of our friends still want pizza from Domino's, right? Um, yeah, it's kind of a hard thing sometimes, but what I would say is you have to be very smart. Okay, the more that you know, the better. Actually, people say like, "Oh, I know too much, and now I've become this anxious person." It's just because you don't know how to actually handle it. Like now you know what's there, and it's for some people even that is really hard to confront and they'll just deny it. But yes, it's there, and there is a way to deal with that spiritually as well, right? We're spirits, we have a body that is affected by the environment. Yeah, but as a spirit, you can also say like, no, I'm stronger, and I can handle, and I can know how to outsmart it, and I can know how to deal with that. And that brings, first of all, like a calmness and a peace. Because if you're constantly stressed about your environment, what's really the point of knowing about the toxins? Yes, you're avoiding them, but now you're completely isolated and anxious and all of these things. And it's something I experienced myself big time. And it's still something I slip into every now and then, that I'm like, okay, I'm like in two ways right now. Um, but yeah, you really have to know, like there are binders that you can take when you're taking up toxins. You have certain plants that filter the air in the house. You have air filters, like really good air filters. Organic foods, you can use baking soda to wash off the glyphosate. Grounding mats, certain LED lights that mimic the sun, like red light, red lens glasses. There's a whole science, and there's so much tools out there, one better than the other, of course. That's where knowledge comes in, right? But yeah, you definitely can do something with it. And at the end of the day, right, the purpose is to be able to live an amazing life, and not to be perfect with zero toxins, right? So that's the mindset that I have with it.
Right. Well, it's hard to get away from everything. I mean, that's just not possible in today's world. I, from what I'm taking, it's basically embracing what your environment is and not being scared of it. I think
I would
from
say
my side,
outsmarted.
yeah, exactly. And I think from my side though, the scary part was, okay, I get it. We know all this is out there. We need to get out what we know about the harmful stuff. My thing is we're inundated with so much information. We can Google anything. We know that. But what is true? What is real? That's where it really gets confusing for me anyway. You know, are there sources that you go to um, that you feel comfortable with, more comfortable than just Googling something?
Yes, for sure. I never Google something because it's always wrong. Actually, I did have my coaches. Like I said, I paid a lot of money to for people to teach me. I did a lot of trial and error for myself. Now, if you have cancer, I'm not sure if you're still dealing with that. If I may ask, if that's is that something that's still there, or is that something that's in the past?
Technically, I've been clear, knock on wood. Just deal more with side effects of all the treatment. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I definitely like seek a coach, someone like myself, or not to like advise myself, but someone that has been through the journey, knows more or less the path that you should be on, what the signs are that you are improving, what to look for, what to not do. There's supplements out there that are actually toxic, like vitamin D is something that many people take, and it's rat poison. Like it's not good for you. You should get it from the sun. It's a very different vitamin D. So those are all examples of things that you should really watch out for, and it's really important that you get a good person that you trust. I would really recommend that you go to anyone. Like, how do you know how to trust someone? You have a feeling that they've been through something themselves. They're not reacting to anything. Like, you can kind of see when a person is reacting in fear. You see all these videos like, oh, chemtrails, this. They're always pointing somewhere elsewhere. And you want to look at someone that actually makes you able to actually deal with it and actually solve the problem instead of just scare you, right? So that's a big one. And then also someone that just really knows, for example, something like mitochondrial health, what I talked about. These sensors, they're linked to so many diseases. It's actually unbelievable. I would say anyone that does mitochondrial health, like Justine Stenger, like myself, as someone I learned from her. Doc Wallace is also an amazing, like there's all sorts of people out there, but where it comes down to is you really want to look for someone that makes you understand and makes you, so to speak, source of something. It shouldn't be like that someone tells you, oh, just do this and you'll do it and you're a robot, right? It has to be yours.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, that's comes down to, are they listening to you and the issues you actually have, slash, are they being empathetic of your situation? And you can spot it. I mean, it's through our little, not little, but our journey with the cancer treatments. I mean, you could tell which doctors really cared and which kind of were just there to be there.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I know.
you find that trust with somebody that, okay, they sit down and say, what is going on today? How do you feel today? And let's try and make you feel better. You're not always going to get the best answers, even in that situation, but it's at least better, that they're actually
One
listening to you.
has to care. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. My mom had cancer as well. I went to many doctors as well for my period and for my hormones. And it's the worst when people just don't understand or just don't listen. It's and you will never get results with someone like that. So yes, that's a huge part. I totally agree.
Do you also think there is, I guess I'm going to throw it out there, a difference in women's care or women's health compared to the male aspect of it? I mean, is there something coming from a woman, coming from what you've been through, that you feel like either it was a little bit ignored or you just need to, I don't know, work a little bit harder for people to understand? And I'm bringing this up simply because, again, Christy was not diagnosed. I mean, they figured she had it 10 years before her actual diagnosis, and a lot of people ignored everything.
Hmm.
The women's A woman's body is very complicated, and when you get into the gynecology and the hormones aspect, it just seems like, to me, it's a lot of it's ignored. They just say, well, it's just a woman's thing. I hate to say
Yeah,
it like that, but you know what I'm saying. So is there
exactly.
something specific that we're missing on that side of it?
At the very fundament, no. Like a woman shark and a man shark still both have fins. Like that's how evolved you've been, right? So at the very, very foundational level, especially when it comes to mitochondria, no, there's not really a difference in terms of what you should be treating and what you should be looking at in terms of healing, right? Now there is a very big difference between men and women in terms of course, bodies, in terms of cycles. Men have more like a daily cycle, women have a monthly cycle, but it doesn't mean that women do not have a daily cycle. Women have a daily cycle as well. It's just something like things get indeed complicated when words get twisted. You see this thing with cycles, but there's many different cycles in nature and in our bodies. There's not just our sex hormones, right? It's just a part, it's just a cycle. But there's also, for example, a cortisol cycle. It's a circadian cycle. Now, if you're dysregulated in circadian ways, like if you have circadian dysregulation, um, your cortisol is going to be super weird. It's just not going to work. Nothing's going to work when you're circadian dysregulated, actually, because your body relies on timing. Like 40% of your genes is is programmed with timing. Is based on timing of your genes expression. So it's a huge thing, circadian health, and that applies to women and to men. Okay, so that's no difference. Now, if I would definitely say that there is a difference in terms of like emotionally. Women are inward and men are outward. So if you have like a spiral, the man goes outward from the inside out, and the woman goes in, right? So that's the energetic difference. And for example, you see that the genitals are in the woman they're involuted, for example, and with the men they're exvoluted. So that's an example, right? Now, in terms of treatment, again, I wouldn't say it's a big difference, but I would say emotionally it requires a different, like a more feminine space, maybe from another woman. I've been coached by many men on my health as well, but they never really got it.
Right.
When it comes to like your sexuality and your libido and that spark that women love to have with themselves, it's something that men like, but they cannot really they cannot really understand because they're just a man. There's nothing wrong with that.
They don't feel it.
Yes, it comes more down to the understanding of, okay, you're actually a woman. Let's talk woman to woman. And it just brings about a bigger understanding. And so a more of a calm space to heal for people. Sorry for that.
No worries. Very
So
interesting.
does that answer your question? Because I touched on a lot of
Yeah.
many different things right there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it gets complicated though. That's part of the problem, isn't it? Um, Not everybody is the same. Not everybody, whether it's a male doctor, female doctor, they all look at it differently. So unless you have that connection with that one person, things are going to get missed.
What do you mean by it? What's complicated?
As far as understanding the emotional side, understanding, we don't always connect personally with somebody. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
having something extremely personal, like what you've been through or we went through with cancer, unless that person on the other side has a connection with you on a personal level, it's you don't feel like you get a reasonable answer sometimes, and it feels like they don't have that emotional um, understanding of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not everybody's going to be the same. And you have to continue to search for somebody that's really going to have that connection with you so you find those answers that you're looking for.
For sure. But I want, like, let's look into that, because usually when you're the one experiencing the disconnect, it's actually you.
Mhm. Gotcha.
So that's something that many people miss. But when I, for example, I like when it's in my reality, it's in my experience. I can have a conversation with someone, and my experience can be like, "Oh my God, they hate me," and their experience of me can be completely different, right? So if I am experiencing something, it's me. So if I feel a disconnect to to a person, it's actually me not being willing, being confronting of my own feelings, or not being willing to be vulnerable, not being willing to say something that's actually on my mind, right? So that's something that happens, but that's different than from choosing someone that knows how to handle the body, right? So we're talking about handling the spirit, connecting personally, and handling the body in terms of, okay, there's something dysregulated here, there's something not fully communicating, how to fix that with nutrients, with habits, with whatever.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there is such a difference between the spiritual part and the actual health part, isn't there? Something that also I wanted to bring up, Superwoman Health.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that is and basically what it is?
Yes, so Superwoman Health is a concept that I came up with myself, because that's how I truly felt when I healed, like genuinely a superwoman. And Superwoman Health is basically about a woman, like this is going to sound so like, oh, everyone says it, but like really having, like actually having that connection with your body. And I'm not saying that in a hoo-hoo or whoosh-whoosh way, but really being able, like genuinely being able to communicate with whatever is going on, being able to express that, being able to know, just know what kind of food you need that day, what kind of exercise we're going to do today. There's just this willingness from the body that to enthusiastically like cooperate, and there's this potential to take on anything. There's just this space for there's space for healing, space for power, space for uh, getting even better in health. It's not necessarily a state that you like achieve in a certain like after walking a staircase. It's more about constantly improving, constantly improving, constantly improving. And I see it with the women that I work with. The moment they get it, they improve their health so much, because it becomes a game. It becomes literally a fun game, and it's really, it's such a blessing. It's such ecstasy, and it sounds so hoo hoo and so like too spiritual or wish, but it's honestly like the most amazing asset that I've ever invested in is my body, honestly.
It's
Does that
connecting
make
to
sense?
yourself. Yeah, it's connecting to yourself. It's accepting
With my
yourself
body.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, very interesting. Is that something you feel like everybody can get to? Do you need to be
Yes, for
coached on
sure.
it?
Honest, yeah, for sure. I actually have one man as a client. So we also have a Superman. But
Nice.
yeah, I love it. But yeah, it's completely attainable for anyone. Like I was in a bad state as well, and I'm still improving every day. It's not that you like. I know it sounds unfathomable for someone that's maybe sick or really dealing with something, and I see it with some of my clients. They have like eczema and all of these things, and there's so much resistance there that they don't really see how it actually could be like if they not have that, right? They're
Right.
so in that reality. Um, but for me as well, like I feel amazing and I'm still improving every day. I'm still loving to take care of myself. It's just a passion of mine. I just love it. Yeah, it's definitely something, but it's something that you are right now and that you constantly improve. It's not necessarily a state that you attain. So yes, everyone can do it. It's a decision.
And do you think that, I mean, what are the parts that go along with that? Would that be the fitness side, nutrition side, mental side? I mean, are we looking at it from like a holistic standpoint?
Yeah, 100%. We're taking it from the truth. So, what I basically focus on is on all aspects in the way that the body has been assaulted, actually, in our basic environment and our basic lifestyle, and how to maintain that strong, like authentic, that ancestor-like health without needing to live in the jungle, right? We're talking about breathing patterns are a big thing that people are completely unaware of, and that makes the biggest difference in terms of posture, in terms of oxygen delivery to cells, energy, weight loss, skin health, eyesight, you name it. Bloating is a big thing, liver health, all of these things, back pain. I can go on and on and on, right? With posture, it's a big thing, and so that's a big thing, as I said. And then nutrition is very important as well. It's Nutrition is something you have to understand for yourself because, well, where it's very bio-individual, depends on where you are on the planet. So I treat nutrition more as an information source rather than a plan or a keto diet or this diet or that diet. It's more of, a daily choice and a daily adjustment, right? And then also detox. So, how do you remove these pesticides from your body? How do you remove parasites from your body? How do you remove things that you've accumulated throughout the years out of your body, and how do you support those detoxification systems so it doesn't accumulate that much anymore? Circadian syncing is a big thing. For me, it gave me my period back as well. So that's something I teach, and yeah, many other like little things, but those would be the basics. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I I like how the holistic aspect is really kind of taking off because I think well, like you were saying, we're almost pinpointing one thing at a time instead of looking at the entirety of ourselves. And that's kind of part of that embracing ourselves is looking at everything and being true about it. Is there, as you move forward, as you move through like what you're teaching others, do you find that this is something that, okay, we're going to get to a point where 1 month from now you feel great, but how do you continue that on through a lifetime? How is that? Do you teach a healthy lifestyle so there's not a recurrence of going backwards, or how do you look at that aspect of it?
Yeah, so I teach Superwoman Health, and as I said, it's a constant improvement. In this universe, there's nothing that really stays the same. So you have either minus or you have plus. You agree?
Yes.
So when you're wanting to stay neutral, when you want to be consistent, that's why I don't like the word consistency. you're aiming to be the same, but actually when something appears to be the same, is actually getting worse. So it's not getting better, it's getting worse, right? And that's the fun of the game, right? When you're not using your muscles, they weaken. When you do not feed your body, you'll eventually die. Your body will die. You don't die. There's anything that when you're building a business, you stop building it, it deteriorates. Anything that you don't play with deteriorates. So I just see it as a constant game of improving. I'm always looking, how can I improve my health? Now I'm super big on, I'm learning 2 hours a day for myself, to just evolve for myself, to know better, to try different products, and really like improve literally every day. And not because of the fear of getting worse, but just because I love playing the game. It takes no effort.
Well, and that keeps you going, doesn't it? So it's funny that you brought that up. So I just did and I probably shouldn't have done it, but I did a 3D image of myself. And yeah, I've been feeling pretty good about myself. And then I did that, and it's like, you're average. And it's like, okay, I guess I got to keep going. So in that way, but I was like, it was a little disappointing. But
There's always
one
new
of the,
levels.
yeah, but one of the things that I've found too was we've always been in a hurry to get there. So I like what you say. It's a constant learning, isn't it? And it's, you know, you don't have to be in a hurry to go from, okay, I'm lifting 30 pounds to I want to get to 100 pounds. Take your time. You have a lifetime to do it.
You have many lifetimes actually, and the thing with doing things in a hurry or is it's actually constantly reinsuring that it's not there. When I'm constantly when I'm building a business, and with business, it's something I really struggled with at the start. Is I had to, oh my god, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not there yet. Not there yet. Not there yet. And I had to have to go faster. I have to do more, and it actually just reinforces that you're not there. You're just constantly invalidating any process. So what I tend to do with people that I work with, I just say like, okay, there's a couple things that I need from you in terms of participation. I need you to tell me every day at least one improvement, because every time there's always one thing that goes better, always, because nothing stays the same. So there's either minus or plus. But if there's a minus, there's also a plus, right? It has to be both.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to like work a lot with validation and actually see like, oh, okay, I've improved, I've improved. And before you know it, you'll stop looking for, because what are you actually getting to? You couldn't even answer me, right? It's just this thing that you think that is not there. But it's actually you saying that it's not there.
Right. That's crazy. It's true. It's so
So
true.
when you just look at things like tiny things that are going well, even if it's I slept throughout the whole night or whatever, it's an
Right.
improvement.
Yeah, it's true. And it's recognizing it. Like you said, it's you finally get to that point where it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's amazing. Uh is there anything you want to let people know? I guess is one of my last questions. From your standpoint, whether it's the environment or uh, the Superwoman side, what do you think people need to know the most of?
Um, they need to know that there's happening a lot in the world in terms of toxicity, in terms of the environment. There's a lot of chemicals. I believe there's over 300,000 different man-made chemicals right now in the environment. Anyone will tell you you're crazy. Anyone will tell you these glasses look weird. Anyone will tell you and look weird when you're walking barefoot. Do it. They will look like back on you, and they'll actually be like, what's going on there? And they'll see more and more people doing it and be like, there should be anything there. If it makes you feel better, do it. Like, be an example, because there's going to be a lot of misery when it comes to health. That's something I unfortunately see happening. And if people do not get smarter, and keep just doing what the average Joe does, they'll get the same disease as the average Joe. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's a lot of social things going around wellness and all of these things, and people say that it's woohoo, or no, it's actual science. You can actually look it up. If someone asks for it, you can just look up the science. It's backed up. So no worries. And
Well, yeah,
really,
and just because it's not mainstream doesn't mean it's not true.
there's actually like scientific research about, like, I can pull them up right now.
Mhm.
They on circadian dysregulation, only
I
on
read that.
circadian dysregulation, that it's like linked with Alzheimer's, with Parkinson's, with cancers, with any like cardiovascular disease as well, big time. Um, there's studies about that. Same with toxicity, like from BPAs or PFAS, or there's actually studies about it. If you can just look it up. People are just really scared. So please be
Well,
one
and
of the
that
people who are not.
I agree. No, I agree 100%, and that's why I started this. It's getting people out of that, I guess, comfort zone and asking the questions and talking about it and communicating it. Because, yeah, so many of us kind of just went down, well, it is what it is. This is what they say, so you just go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Guess
for
what? You're
sure.
going to end up like I did, and I don't want that. I end up like my wife, and
Uh-huh.
you got to start questioning it because we're seeing, I just talked about, I just came out with my understanding of the food pyramid thing, controversy. But the point is we don't know everything, or we ignore the data because it just doesn't feel right, or whatever reason you have. So it's really, again, coming back to you taking accountability for yourself and finding the right answer for yourself.
For sure. And I also want to like that people know that they actually can do something. Not everything's doomed. You just need knowledge. You just really need to know. So that's why I love so much why you're doing the podcast, so people can actually have a chance to know. And that's why I also decided to start coaching, because yeah, it's so vital.
I love it. Well, and once you get it, don't you? And you want to just
Yeah.
get the word out. I mean, you really
Yeah.
do. And it kind of makes you feel good too that,
Uh-huh.
we're going to
Uh-huh.
help a lot of people. And that's the plan, isn't it? Bringing that community together.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Don't
All
you
right.
want unlimited energy?
What's that?
I said, don't you want unlimited energy?
Oh gosh. Hey, I'm 50, and I don't feel 50, and I think it's because I finally took accountability for myself, and I'm getting it. I feel good, but I know I got a long ways to go. It's a lifestyle. Like I said, I'm taking one step at a time. That's how we have to do it. And smile, as you're doing it. Have fun with it. I mean, I could sit there and bury myself right now. My wife just passed a month ago, you know, but she wouldn't want me to be like that. She wanted this. She wanted to help people. She wanted to get the word out. She wanted to live, you know? So, well, this has been a pleasure. It really has. It's been awesome. And I really hope I can have you on again. Learned a lot. I mean, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
For sure.
All right. Well, Carolyn Krijger, again, from the Netherlands. That was a lot of fun. But to everybody else out there, I really appreciate you guys listening. We're going to keep having fun, and we're going to find the attitude, keep the attitude, go out living. Till next time.